I 26M want to propose to my 23F girlfriend. Is it too soon? I was always someone that said I'd never get married. I focused on my career and growing a company from nothing throughout my 20s. I don't smoke, I don't party, and I haven't ever drank, which people find odd because I'm in music. I've just always focused on my love for music and building something. I've had girlfriends, including 2-3 year relationships of people I've definitely loved, but I never saw it as my be-all end all. I've always ended the relationships I've been in because they weren't ambitious enough or I didn't feel supported enough. Ultimately, I love what I do and my partner doesn't need to work. If they want to cool, I'll support them. But ultimately I think I need a rock. A month ago I met my now girlfriend. On our second I really started to fall for her. 2 weeks later, I decided I wanted to go away for a week to get a break, which is something I commonly do due to how insanely busy I get and liking some alone time. I invited her with me and she came. I usually get away alone to recharge, but it was like I was there with myself. No one disturbing my peace or anything. She was like an extension of me. While we were away I told her I loved her and it was reciprocated. It was fast, but we've spent a lot of time together and it just came out. Fastest I've said it before was 4 months or so, not 18 days lol. I told her the other day I wanted to marry her. Tears nearly rolled down her eyes as she told me after our second date she texted her best friend saying, "I'm going to marry this man." In shock I didn't believe her, but she showed me the text. Haha. My mom always told me my thoughts on marriage would one day change and I'd finally meet someone that would make me want to get married. I told her she was crazy, but here I am. I want to propose to this girl, have her move in with me. I've always lived alone even though my ex several times asked to live together, and get married in private in the new year. A large part of my life due to working in music is public, so I value and love my private life and alone time. But I feel like I found someone that I can share that with and support me through my sometimes 100-hour work weeks. I just feel in my gut it's right. Do I say fuck it and propose? Anyone have any love stories to share of fast love? Haha. At the very least, wait until you're past the honeymoon phase. I'd say it's too soon, but it's your life. I waited a few years and lived with my now wife before I popped the question. Hope it works out. After a month? Bro, I have moldy yogurt in my fridge older than that. Yes, it's way too soon. A month is fucking nuts, dude. Do not propose this soon. You barely know this woman. It's way too soon. If you're a perfect match with this woman, you'll be a perfect match in a year. And if you're not a perfect match in a year, you'll be glad you're not married to her. A month? Reevaluate after 6 months, then another 6 months after that. 9 months into my first relationship I would have bet I was gonna marry my then girlfriend. Everything literally was perfect. Get your head out of the gutter, man. Enjoy your relationship as it progresses. Don't do too much. Do not propose so early, good God, man. BF, 52M, and I, 59F, is he monitoring food intake? My boyfriend, 52M, and I, 59F, have been together 2 years. We were having Thanksgiving dinner with his entire family. He didn't say much at dinner, but did say out loud in front of everyone, "Wow, you don't like my mother's food much, do you?" I took that to mean that he was being sarcastic and indicating that I was eating too much food when I had only eaten 1/4 and a third of what was on my plate. At that point I quit eating altogether. I tried to explain on the way home how that embarrassed me and hurt my feelings. He said it was a joke. And then he got indignant, saying that I was taking things too seriously. He knows how insecure I am about my weight. Now we are in a huge fight and he says it's all my bipolar tendencies coming out and that is the issue. I tried to draw a parallel about his insecurities with hair loss and dentures, but he doesn't acknowledge it. How would you take his comment? Man, there is nothing more pathetic than a person who says something hateful, gets called out on it, says it was only a joke, and then gets pissed because it wasn't actually funny. This has nothing to do with your BPD. He's just a jerk. Lose 200 pounds quick by dumping this jerk. So here's the thing, even if he was justified in what he said, which he wasn't, his reaction is a huge red flag. A healthy response might look like this. Hey, when you said that thing about me not liking your mom's food, it really hurt my feelings. You know how sensitive I am about my weight. Him, oh, really? I had no idea you took offense. I thought of it as some lighthearted teasing. Okay, I won't do it again. Like it's as simple as that. This should absolutely not have blown up into a fight. It's not necessarily what he said that is so concerning, it's how you expressing your feelings led to a huge fight. That is completely unnecessary and honestly an indicator that this is an unhealthy dynamic. Definitely make jokes about his dentures and hair loss. Don't let him gaslight you and invalidate your feelings by calling it a joke. It's not a joke if you don't think it was funny. He chose to pick on something he knew you were sensitive about. It's not cool. He's a jerk. Find someone who treats you better. 37F dating 42M for 2 months and it just all went downhill. What is your advice? I 37F been dating with 42M for just over 2 months. First month everything was great, we became exclusive after a few weeks. I liked him a lot, he liked me. He also was talking a lot about how he likes me. He introduced me to some of his friends. I introduced him to my family, as it was my birthday. Slowly we stopped having sex, stopped sexting. When I asked what's going on, he said he was feeling depressed. And when he is depressed he shuts everything out. Later on he told me his ex reached out to him asking for emotional support and help. He feels trapped and can't just block her. He says he needs therapy to sort out this situation with her, and he has a therapy session coming up. I don't feel ready to break up with him and don't want to force myself breaking up with him because I have feelings. He says he loves me and he'd love to stay together as he works through this. However, he can't commit to a timeline. In the meantime, we have not seen each other now for over 2 weeks. All my suggestions to meet up, he says he is busy. And I get it, he is very busy because due to his work this time of year is the busiest. We are regularly chatting over the text messages and voice notes, but he doesn't want to talk on the phone. But we live 5 minutes away from each other and I can't believe we can't find time to meet up even for a little bit. I am lost at what to do. I also have therapy sessions because I can get very anxious in relationships, and also I have childhood trauma. He also has lots of childhood trauma. What is your advice? He's not into anymore, is trying to rekindle things with his ex, and wants you on the back burner. All this drama after only 2 months, that alone should be a red flag, but he clearly is using you to get his ex back. Look into attachment theory and work to heal and grieve your attachment wounds from your childhood that has you jumping in way too soon before you if someone is worthy. Sorry op, but it sounds like he's lost interest in you and is either too cowardly to admit it outright, or is hoping him being distant will make you end things first. Slowly we stopped having sex, stopped sexting. In 2 months, you've slowly stopped having sex? He still loves his ex and is giving the time he has to her. Sometimes people lie to cover up things. Uncomfortable feelings, previous relationships, etc. Let it go. You are in for a rough time if this is how you deal with a 2-month breakup. Get a therapist please. They will help you like none other. Am I, 22M, overreacting about my 22F girlfriend texting other guys about our relationship? My girlfriend has been texting other guys about our relationship. I'll start off by saying me and my girlfriend have been together for 3 years now. Things have been going well with the exception of a few issues that came up fairly recently. We're both 22 by the way. Last year I found out she was still talking to one of her ex-boyfriends who she cheated on someone with in the past. When I confronted her about it she said she thought it was no big deal and begrudgingly blocked him. We moved on from that, but now in the 3rd year of our relationship I found out last month that she has been talking to some guy about our relationship issues. She said it was a friend of her, but when I dug deeper she said he was a guy she met at the store a while ago. She's been texting him about disagreements in our relationship and his responses are always the same. He doesn't seem like a very good boyfriend, you should leave him. They've also been saying they miss each other, which I don't know how to feel about. I told her I felt like texting him about our issues was inappropriate because of the responses he would give. She became defensive. She began saying how he's a good guy and means no harm. She also said, he's just very protective over me. That really threw me off because why would a guy she met at the store be protective of her and tell her to leave me over normal disagreements? She also said she just needed someone to talk to and wanted a male perspective. We didn't talk a few days after I confronted her. When we did come back together I asked to see more of the text messages for peace of mind, but she deleted them all saying she needed to make storage space on her phone. I'm now at a crossroads. I'm 22 but just landed a great job with the government due to my parents. I make just over 6 figures and wanted to buy a house in 2025. My girlfriend wants to move in with me because we've been together for 3 years, but I don't really feel comfortable in the relationship anymore. Would I be overreacting if I ended things, or is it not enough to warrant a breakup? Sorry for the long post. She also said she just needed someone to talk to and wanted a male perspective. If she wants a male perspective regarding relationship issues, then maybe she can talk to him. IDK her boyfriend? Had the same issue with my ex. Leave her because it will become worse. You're 22, being single at 22 and with the circumstances you're in would be amazing. Girlfriend is Suze, talking to some guy she recently met about your relationship issues isn't looking for male perspective, it's looking for greener pastures. You need to take this seriously and dig deeper. She meets some random guy at a store? When did she tell you about this guy? Discussing your relationship with a guy who clearly has feels for her. Saying they miss each other and he is protective of her? Saying he's a good guy and means no harm, despite constantly advising her to break up with you. Is very similar to saying, oh, you don't have to worry about him, where we all know you absolutely do have to worry. Now deleting the texts? This is an emotional affair, at the very least, and you would be right to end it, especially if she cannot see this. So ridiculous. Step away and quick. Better options out there, my friend. Classic, the guy you don't need to worry about situation. Been there, done that. I won't be in a serious relationship with someone ever again who obviously wants to fuck their friends.